No wiggle. No wiggle from Drew. He's ready. He's ready for his show.
God. It's Friday. Molly and I have once again been caught unawares by our dedicated and professionally trained media production staff down at Marketplace World Headquarters. I'm Ryssdal, by the way. Welcome back to Make Me Smart, where we are trying with varying degrees of success to make today make sense.
That's right. I'm Molly Wood. It's Happy Hour Friday.
What is that?
It is, I don't know, but it's looking, you're looking very sporty and young, if I may say so. You've got, you're just like,
it's the haircut. It's the haircut.
It's the haircut. Anyway, it is economics on tap, as we like to call it, which is why we're talking about each other's hair, because we can actually see each other for the one time a week that we live stream on YouTube. And we're like, what's going on with you? Got some bags under the eyes? That kind of thing.
Yeah, a little bit.
Anyway, thanks to everyone who's joining us on YouTube. I was just saying, as the show so rudely began, that I'm trying to be sensitive to the fact that there are states that have snow, some states that got new snow. And so that even though I am having a rosé spritzer because it's freaking summer here in Northern California, it won't last. And B, I see you, snow people, in your red Bordeaux in chilly Lancaster, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
Also,
yes, we see you.
What are you drinking? Because I heard ice, and that is not normal.
Oh, so Bridget, as we talked about last week, ran by my office, and while she was picking up some stuff, dropped off a bottle of Bullet. Dropped off a bottle of Bullet.
So great.
So I'm having a bourbon and ginger.
Oh my God! At long last, we've done it.
At long last. And it's the perfect afternoon for it, too. Perfect afternoon for it.
Drew, get the gambler
it's
ready.
Such a summery drink. It's such a no. It's a very light. It's a very easy. It's a very gentle bourbon and ginger ale. Also, look, I know we said this on the record. We're going to, once every 6 months, we're going to do a Let Her Rip episode. And today is not that 6 months.
But hope springs eternal. So you never know.
Yeah, just for the record, sorry. Ryan Coleman says, holy crap, there's a lot missing out of that bottle. Bridget delivered it with a lot missing. So talk to Ms. Bodner if you've got a complaint about beverage consumption. That's all I'm saying.
It is really true, though. I mean, talk about an eagle-eyed chat room. They're like, whoa. Where is all that kind? Raspberry milk stout? I don't know how I feel about that. I'm looking at your drinks now. They don't buy it. There's a lot of sure.
No. With Bridget in the chat. Sorry, I said Willow because Willow just walked in to get some love. Bridget in the chat said you should tell them I gave it to you half empty, which, she did. So there you go.
It's true. Because of the game. Or did she give it to you half full? Hey-o.
Yes, that's right. Half full or half empty. That's very clever. God, that was good. That's some on-brand stuff right there. Wait, what are you drinking? Did you say?
I am having this rosé spritzer. And the reason I say I'm having a rosé spritzer is because I had this is like the thing you cannot complain about because I ordered Instacart because that is hashtag single mom life and was even before the pandemic. And I ordered a bunch of rosé because it's like basically summer here. And the guy messaged me and said, they're out of the rosé that you chose. And I was like, no problem. Just get me like any bottle in the same price range because any $13 bottle of wine is good. Trust me. We live in wine country. They're all fine.
That's right.
So bless his try hard heart. He got me he replaced my 3 bottles of $13 rosé with 3 $13 magnums of Woodbridge rosé, which I assume he thought was going to be like a great value. But when you get twice the wine for the same price, it's not good wine. So it's not good wine.
Oh yeah. Gotcha.
At all. It's actually fairly horrific. However, if you splash a little Pamplemousse LaCroix in there, it's a super refreshing spritzer.
You know what we call LaCroix in my house? Sock water.
I mean, well, I put the sock water in my sock wine and now it's lovely.
Yeah. And now I got a matched pair. You can go for a run.
Now I got a matched pair. And it's just
my Lordy me.
working. It's just working just fine.
Yeah.
It's almost vacation for us, friends. You may recall that Kai and I are cruising towards spring break at this very minute. Yep. So we're going to do a little half-hearted news, wholehearted, half full, half empty.
And then be on our merry way.
Okay.
You
gotta have 2 socks.
So you've got the good stuff. I've got the sort of quirky little thing. So I'm just going to go first. There was a story this week. I saw it in the New York Times and it's in the Washington Post as well. And I'm sure every other outlet picked it up. The whole cherry blossoming date in Japan story. And I've seen this a couple of times in the past, 10 or 15 years, but it sort of hit me this year. So the date on which cherry blossoms bloom in Japan has been moving earlier and earlier since 1800, right? Because they keep records over there. And it's obviously climate change. And this year is like the earliest on record or whatever, or super early. Anyway, but the part of this story that I can't stop thinking about, and it's part, climate change, yes, but history dork is what appeals to me. They have records on when cherry blossoms have been blossoming in Kyoto, Japan, going back to 812 Anno Domini, right? 812,
Whoa.
as the Washington Post points at. That is 12 years after Charlemagne was crowned Holy Roman Emperor. 812. And the New York Times story that I saw that I can't dig out now actually has like dates of peak things. And it's like 13th of April, 1412, it hit XYZ temperature. And 12th of June in 1594, it hit whatever. And it's the coolest thing because you have this image of like courtiers to the emperor or Japanese monks or whatever, sitting down and making little notations, right? This is how history comes alive. Sitting down and making little notations of when these things bloom. And it's really cool. And I just dug that. 812. Come on, man. Come on. It was unbelievable.
That is very, very cool. I also love the fact that they sort of had to, right? They were like peak bloom, which implies you would imagine some counting.
Right.
And now I would like a new job, and I would like my job to be sitting and counting cherry blossoms and writing it down.
In Japan, that's right. Sorry. So here's the thing. Here's the key line. The March 26th, 2021 peak bloom date surpassed the previous record holder of March 27, 1409. 1409.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's amazing.
And they know that because there was some person sitting there making notes in March of 1409, which was apparently a warm spring in Kyoto, Japan. Anyway, so there you go.
Outstanding.
That's what I got.
I love it.
That's what I got.
Also, way to turn that climate frown upside down. I like it. I like it a lot.
I know.
Well, I'm just straight up doing, by the way, from the YouTube chat, Marissa Cabrera reports sock tails are the new stonk tails.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You know what? You get the audience you cultivate, and we have cultivated the best one. Without a doubt. That's amazing. I have like pretty much just follow-up Friday today because I have follow-ups on the stories that we talked about yesterday, one of which, of course, was what on earth are companies going to do about this awkward voter suppression situation in Georgia? And today, Major League Baseball. It's so awkward. Yeah. We just don't want to be on the wrong side of everything. Major League Baseball announced today that today, Friday, it will be moving the All-Star game out of Atlanta in response to the passage of this voting law. It's a big deal, especially because MLB, the NBA has gotten like more willing to engage in politics over time. Even the NFL has crept in,
driven by its players. It has to be said. None of the owners. It's all players, right?
No, God, no. Yes, it's all players. But it's surprising that MLB, which is usually sort of the bland one, said, no, we absolutely can't. We think that this is the thing we have to do. And then in keeping with the thing we were saying yesterday, which is the the politicians who have backed themselves into a corner now, Representative Jeff Duncan, then of, let's see, One Zooms, Georgia, I'm looking, tweeted, in light of MLB's stance to undermine election integrity laws, I have instructed my staff to begin drafting legislation to remove Major League Baseball's federal antitrust exception.
Yeah.
I mean,
so that would
like
be
yesterday,
a
we were
fascinating
like, this
legislative fight. That would be a brawl, right? Getting rid of the antitrust exemption for baseball would be a brawl. It would be wild. And you would hear Andy Euler reporting on it on Marketplace for a very long time. Can I interject a brief moment of economic sanity here for a minute?
Yeah.
There are some, among them being Stacey Abrams, who woulda, coulda, should have been the governor of the state of Georgia, but is now a Democratic organizer par excellence. She and many others have said, look, don't boycott Georgia, because if you do that, you are hurting us economically. Take a stand, be vocal, but please keep giving us your money. So there's a little bit of challenge here, right? And I wonder if MLB Rob Manfred, the commissioner, got on the phone with Stacey Abrams or her groups and said, we're doing this, and I want to give you the heads up, because it's real, right? I mean, the All-Star game brings a lot of revenue and tax dollars and all that stuff.
It's really real. I'm pulling up. You can see me with my phone right now because I'm pulling up the Heather Richardson. Do you know about this lady's newsletter, Heather Cox Richardson?
Yes, of course I do.
Great.
Letters from an
the
American,
historian.
or whatever it is. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. So she wrote about this in her newsletter that went out yesterday. And one of the things that she talked about, hold on, I'm fine, I'm scrolling, is this. In 1890, Southern white leaders promised the North that voter suppression would make the South bloom. They were wrong. By concentrating wealth and power among a few white leaders, it kept the South mired in poverty for at least 2 generations. Rejecting voter suppression this time around could write an entirely different story. I mean, of course, you know her newsletter because it's all based in history and it's sort of a historical contextualizing of the day's news. And that's one of the things she talked about is that at some point it won't be tenable for businesses. Like Stacey Abrams is right, but also it won't be tenable for businesses to not act in the face of behavior like this. And then you will see politicians retaliating against what is unquestionably speech by these companies.
Yeah, you talked about it yesterday, the Delta Airlines, gas tax thing, right? I mean, you know.
State actors threatening, as somebody says in the comments on these tweets, state actors threatening private enterprise with targeted sanctions specifically for their business because they made a decision to spend their money elsewhere. Yeah. It's just, so anyway, straight up follow-up. And then I was excited to see the Financial Times write a big piece on family offices, my obsession, and the $6 trillion world of the family office. But specifically about what we were talking about yesterday, which is that they can do whatever they wanted or do whatever they want because there's hardly any regulation. And I didn't know this until I read this piece.
Go
ahead. And
then I'll.
Because
I was just going to say there's hardly any regulation because their fiduciary responsibility is only to the family, right? And so the reason that Bill Huang, who ran Archegos, could do what he did without any oversight is because his fiduciary responsibility is only to himself. Except the lie, of course, is that his investments done through swaps and derivatives, like we talked about, brought down huge dollar amounts. The blocks that he had to sell to liquidate his holdings to meet the margin calls affected actual real companies and their investments and people who invest in those companies. Sorry,
exactly. In the B's, in the billions. No, I love it. Thank you. And what is even more notable is that as these have proliferated and grown, and this I did not know until I read it in the Financial Times, assets under management stood, as we mentioned yesterday, at some $5.9 trillion in 2019. That compares with 3.6 trillion in the global hedge fund industry. Family offices represent twice the investment power of hedge funds. Like, so yesterday, or on Wednesday, we were like, nah, this is not a domino. It's probably not a domino, but they for sure need to get that under control because that is a massive market moving amount of money. So many M's. It just happened. That was the most alliterative thing I think I've ever said. Anyway, it's a really good read if you have a subscription to the Financial Times or your friend can loan you one for the day because these things are big. Yeah. And I mean, likely the heyday is over, but wow. It's kind of shocking that a loophole double the size of the global hedge fund industry was created by just rich people making companies to invest their own money. Like if nothing else gives you a sense of the difference between like your day-to-day life and the life of the extremely rich, let it be this story. Because wow.
Wow. Yeah. All right.
What do you think?
There's news.
Game time?
Yeah, I think we should. Let's play a game. All right. Half full, half empty is the name of the game. Drew Jostad is our host. He speaks. Molly and I reply. Ready to begin.
For the first time, we have a topic submitted by Discord. So this is from Make Me Smart Discord submitted by listener Ryan. Are you half full or half empty on having a 17th NFL game?
I heard about that. Those poor players. My first thought was like, what are you trying to do? Kill these guys? Like, give me a break. Yeah, I'm a little half empty on that. I think the NFL
I'm half empty. Yeah.
It's an abusive enterprise. Let's be honest.
Yep. Same.
All right. What about compensation for student athletes?
Oh, so this is the Supreme Court case this week about, well, it was on a technicality about something else, but it's basically paying student athletes. I am half full on those athletes getting some kind of compensation, because you can't have a basketball coach making $9 million on a shoe contract and, $8 million from the state or whatever, and have these kids, generating all that revenue for nothing. So,
yeah. I mean, look, if it were just education, it would be a different conversation. But the NCAA has been trying to argue for years that all it is education. And we all know it's a giant capitalist enterprise. And people who can contribute materially to the success of that enterprise should get paid. Or as I like to tell my son, don't work for free. So yeah.
Yeah.
I'm half full.
For sure.
Hashtag parenting. All right. What else?
Right. Next one is Apple investing in United Masters.
Oh yeah, this is really interesting.
Man. Go ahead.
Well, I have to say that the snotty comment that came to mind for me was like, wow, I guess that whole, remember when they got sued by the Beatles? The Beatles and Apple were in a long running legal argument for years, maybe even decades, over the use of the trademark Apple, because the Beatles had it first. This is like such a classic Apple thing to do. Steve Jobs was always like, I don't care, I'm just going to take that name. And he did. And the original settlement, which I think was probably nulled and voided by like the many appeals that came after, but the original settlement that they made with the Beatles was that Apple, the computer company, would never, ever, ever, ever get into the music business. And they obviously did in a million different ways. But when I saw that investment in particular, I was like, oh yeah, that's it. Anyway, I'm half full on the idea that we are going to witness a sea change in the music industry, and like labels, the middlemen of the situation, are on the way out. And I think that's what that represents. Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, I think it's interesting that they only led the funding round, and like Google was in this one as well. It was only $50 million. And I'm like, Apple, if you're serious, put Tim Cook's money where your mouth is. But yeah, I'm half full on that.
That too. Yeah. I think I'm half fullish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. U.S. spending on science.
You mean like I'm half empty about where it is now and hopeful for the future?
Could you repeat the question? I don't understand.
Totally. May we have some context? Can you use it in a sentence?
Could you use it in a sentence?
I'm assuming the United States.
What part of speech?
Has investing in science. I got nothing. I didn't read the news.
Drew's like, I don't really know. I just read that. Hold on, I'm looking. Okay. 4 days ago, Biden wants to this was on Marketplace. Look at this.
It's about the infrastructure thing, right?
Yes. And it would include doubling the amount that we spend on science to $250 billion. Currently, we only spend 0.7% of our GDP on science, and we could up it to 2%.
2%.
And we should definitely do that. Yeah. For sure.
I'm half full on that. I'm a little embarrassed I didn't know the question since it was on my radio program, but
I think it was on morning.
Sorry. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll listen to
morning. No, I know. Same. So anyway, yes, I'm super full on that. We should definitely do that. That would be great.
Yep.
This
pair it with some education should be also great.
Yes.
Okay.
This is less of a half full, half empty. I think it's more of a who you got situation. Godzilla or King Kong.
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up. So glad.
Have you seen it yet? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't watched it yet. I'm saving it for vacation week.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, for sure. Yep.
All right.
Here's what I think. And this is what I texted to my brother almost verbatim. I was like, isn't Godzilla versus King Kong just a snuff film? And PETA is going to be super upset about it because Godzilla is indestructible. This seems ridiculous.
Wow.
So I'm half empty because I question the premise. I question the premise.
That took a turn.
I mean, come on, wow. Godzilla. And then my brother was like, they made King Kong 3 times the size. And I'm like, yeah, that's to keep PETA off their backs because he's just going to get ripped apart because he's just a big
You know what this makes me, you know what this makes me realize?
That I'm a giant nerd.
My life is my life is too narrow. My horizons are not broad enough because I got no thought on this movie.
You didn't see the last one, the Godzilla, the King of the Monsters one?
No.
Okay, what did make me laugh was Virginia Peck in the YouTube comments going, Gonzaga, yes. Because way to make it a March Madness thing. That was a good one. Good one. Yeah. And what are King Kong and Godzilla even fighting about?
I don't know. I don't know.
I read that like.
I gotta look it up. Sorry, is Godzilla nuclear powered in this one? Did I read that somewhere?
I mean, he is nuclear powered. Yeah, he like feeds off it.
I don't know.
That's his origin story is the like nuclear power plant. Hold on. Then my brother, because this is the kind of giant nerds we are. And in fact, you can see, I was like, call PETA because he's indestructible. And then my brother sent me back a gift because I'm a nerd. But then he said he can be killed by electricity and cadmium because his heart is a nuclear reactor. Duh. So I guess if King Kong figures that out.
Have you two always been this way?
Oh, yeah. 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 Our like running text exchange is basically its own podcast in text only.
Meanwhile, my like once every 3 months text with my brother is, hey, have you talked to mom lately? Anyway.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, it's bad. It's bad. Oh no, I went out of focus. Come on, little computer. You can do it. There we go.
Didn't you? Wow.
I guess the webcam is ready for a break too. And on that note, I believe that's it. Yes. Was that our last topic?
Yes, we are done. Yes. Yep.
Amazing.
Let us get out of here.
Kai, your spring break assignment is to watch King Kong versus Godzilla, and ideally at least one of the origin story Godzilla movies.
So look, you might not necessarily know this, but I've got a bad track record of saying I'm going to watch movies on this podcast and then I'll watch again. So don't count your chickens. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, fair point. But yeah, have a whole week. Also, Chris Patrick, I agree. Cadmium. Well, cadmium says Chris Patrick is highly toxic, so it would also kill King Kong. I don't see a scenario in which King Kong comes out okay here, and I'm a little worried about it because I'm a crier. All right, I'm gonna let this go. That is it for our show. I promise. Kai and I will be off next week watching some kind of movies.
What's really funny is you look down at the live stream and you see what happened like 4 seconds ago, and all I saw was myself going, "Oh my god!" Anyway,
like what is wrong with her? And apparently there's some strong insistence that you don't get to move on until you watch the Never-Ending Story. So.
Yeah, clearly.
Look at Tony in here on the official Marketplace APM account. Being all Kong can use tools and speak sign language. That's his main advantage. We see you, Tony. We see you. So Kai and I are going to take a little break because as you can see, we're starting to lose it. Kimberly Adams will be here with a roster of Marketplace reporters. For now, keep sending us because the show will not be off the air. It will go on. Keep sending your questions and your comments. We're at makemesmart@marketplace.org.
Boy, man.
Catherine Castro, Into the Wood podcast with Molly and her brother. That's hilarious.
Make Me Smart is produced and directed by Marissa Cabrera. Tony Wagner produces stuff, does the live stream comments, gets stuff on the show page, does a bunch of stuff. Stephen Beyond does video. Also, I believe the Half Full, Half Empty. Erica Phillips writes our newsletters, also our Make Me Smart explainers. Erica, Molly and I are on next week. I don't know what you're going to do with that. You better
that's true. We probably should have told her about that. Today's program was engineered by our co-star, Drew Jostad, and I'm with the YouTubers who pointed out, still no video for Drew. Ben Tolliday and Daniel Ramirez composed our theme music. Bridget Bardner was in charge. Bridget Bodner brought the bourbon and was in charge today.
She did.
Executive Director of On Demand is Sitar Nieves.
Who's also not here today. So Donna's off, Sitar's off, Molly and I are going to be off. It's all falling apart.
I mean, anything could happen. Anything.
Why did Mark Karp say to me, Kai, if you're going to Miami for spring break, please wear a mask? I'm not going to Miami for spring break.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Wow.
Bridget brought the bourbon. So much alliteration. Yeah, it was a hard one. Yeah. Try it. Everybody at home. Intern takeover. Boom, Emily. Ha, we see you too. You're going to have a great time with Kimberly. Doug, typing it doesn't count. You have to say it.
Megan McCarty-Carino and Scott Tong is going to be here one day, and I think Euler's going to be in one day.
Oh, yeah, good, because this baseball thing is legit.
Yeah.
Megan McCarty-Carino, by the way, has been filling in for me on tech, and she's just lovely.
Sounds great.
She's doing a great job.
Great.
Yep, sounds great. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
yeah, so that's it. It's time. It's time for vacay. Kai, do you feel better?
Yes, I'm done.
Good. Success.
All right.
You made
Off
it.
we go. Cheers.